Today, the movie we are going to explain is a mystery movie. The movie's name is Zodiac, and it is based on a true story. At the beginning of the movie, we see a scene of a city which is California, and the date is July 4th, 1969. Many fireworks are being set off in this city. After that, we see a young couple, in which the girl's name is Darlene, and the boy's name is Mike. At this moment, Darlene is in a very good mood, and their mood is completely ruined when a car comes from behind and starts flashing its high beams. They think it must be some local troublemaker. Then, a man steps out of the car parked behind, whose face is not clearly visible to us. That man shoots those couples with bullets. After this incident, the police arrive here. So let's see that 2 children have been brutally killed here. For weeks ago in San Francisco, where we see a Robert named Graysmith who works at the San Francisco Chronicle and is professionally a cartoonist for the newspaper. After that, today's meeting begins in the company's meeting hall, where we see a man named Paul Averick, who is a very prominent crime reporter, standing and giving a passionate speech in front of everyone. Then a lady comes and hands the editor a letter. After reading it, the editor becomes very serious, because the writer of this letter is the same killer who killed Darian and Mike in a park 4 weeks ago. And the criminal, accepting his crime, has written in the letter that he wants the editor to publish this letter in his paper. And if this letter is not published, he will resume his killing spree. In this letter, I have my and solve the puzzles I made and try to find me. Knowing all this, Paul becomes quite serious, and on the other hand, the Robert also begins to draw this puzzle in his notebook. After this, Paul, who is a crime reporter, starts getting the authenticity of this letter-written story checked through his information sources. Actually, Paul's intelligence sources were police officers, so he quickly gets very good clues. After this, Paul goes and tells the editor that it's just like this. After the broadcast, the director says to prepare the story, and we are going to publish this letter. After that, all the intelligence agencies there start solving the puzzles given in that letter. The next day, those puzzles are published in the newspapers, where we find out that the killer has targeted different newspapers separately. After sending the puzzles, 3 days later, Paul contacts the Robert because he knows the Robert is also busy solving the puzzles. Paul tells the Robert to stop wasting effort, as these puzzles have already been solved. The Robert is very surprised to learn how a history teacher managed to solve these puzzles in just 1 day. Actually, friends, the puzzles contain a coded message from the killer, which says, "I enjoy killing people because humans are the most dangerous animals in the world." The Robert sees that one part of the puzzles is still left to be solved, which even the teacher couldn't solve. After that, the Robert quickly starts solving the remaining puzzles, which, when combined, form some names. But the most focus on this puzzle was given to dangerous animals. Paul is quite happy to see that the Robert is a talented person. After this, the staff of the Chronicle there receives another letter. The same killer sent it, and this time the killer has given himself a name, which is Zodiac. After this, we are shown a scene 1.5 months later, where a couple is having fun near a lake. The male's name is Brian, and the female's name is Cecilia. Just then, Cecilia notices a man coming towards them. He is coming, and seeing this, she gets very scared because the man is wearing very strange clothes, and moreover, he has a gun in his hand, which makes Brian and Cecilia very nervous. This is the same killer named Zodiac, but today he has come for his new prey. After this, Zodiac ties Cecilia to a board and also Brian's. This is what happens next. He stabs both of them in the stomach with a knife, killing them, and before leaving, Zodiac leaves a message on their car with a gunshot symbol. The same symbol was also on Zodiac's clothes. During this murder, Brian survived Zodiac's attack, or it is possible that he deliberately left Brian alive. After that, according to witnesses, the Robert starts making Zodiac's sketch. After that, Paul says that last month the Zodiac killed 2 people, and now why has he committed the 3rd murder? But even the Robert has no answer to this, after which the Robert explains that there was a line in Zodiac's previous letter, which is the most dangerous game of all, and coincidentally the Robert heard this line in a movie based on a book, whose name is The Most Dangerous Game. After that, we are shown a scene 2 months later. There are many taxis on the road here, and in one of these taxis, Zodiac is sitting. He takes the taxi driver into a deserted alley and kills the taxi driver. After that, we are shown 2 detectives. One of them is named Deb Tosi, and the other is Neil Armstrong. Both of them go to the crime scene where it is also reported that a taxi driver has been shot, and according to witnesses, The suspect is a round-faced white male. However, despite thorough investigation, these two detectives cannot understand why the killer did this in such a strange way. After this, another letter arrives at the Chronicle newspaper, which is said to be from the Zodiac, and this time he has a piece of cloth was also sent. After that, Paul Zodiac starts reading a message in the meeting room. It said that he was the one who hit that taxi driver. This piece of cloth is the evidence. Through the letter, Zodiac says that the 4 police at the incident spot were quite foolish because they didn't even try to search the park. And I was inside the park the whole time, and if those people had thoroughly searched the park, they could have caught me. After that, Detective Dave and his partner come into the room. Actually, Dave has come to collect the driver's suit fabric to have it tested. Here, they find out that Zodiac's next target is a school bus. Then the newspaper editor says to keep this information private. Otherwise, everyone in the city. So, the robber does not let his son go by school bus because he fears there might be an attack on that very bus. After all this, the next day the newspaper releases news related to the school bus threat because they were under a lot of pressure. Following this, the city police also start searching for Zodiac, and finally they find Zodiac's. After finding the print, we are shown that the boy who was beaten at the beginning of the movie is still alive, and perhaps he has also seen the Zodiac's face. But for some reason, the boy named Mike did not want to meet the police. Much time passes while this goes on, but no one knows anything about the Zodiac. They don't even know why the Zodiac is killing people, or if there is any pattern to these kills, because the pattern of the last murder is different from before, as this is Zodiac's first single murder. Otherwise, he used to commit double murders, and in double murders, he killed females by strangulation and left males injured, and why he hates female lovers so much. After that, he killed a cab driver who was a male, which means Zodiac wanted to change his killing pattern. A few days later, a report comes to the Debker that a man has called the police department, and he is claiming to be Zodiac. And furthermore, he is demanding to speak to a lawyer named Melvin on the TV morning show. Soon after, Melvin is brought onto the TV show and asked to try to convince Zodiac to come meet him. A little while later during the show, a call from Zodiac comes in, who introduces himself as Sam. And after talking for quite some time, Sam Melvin calls to meet at a city church, after which the police quickly head toward the church, but they do not find Sam there. Meanwhile, the survivor of the second incident hears Sam's voice and confirms that this is not Zodiac. After this, another letter from Zodiac arrives at the Chronicle news agency, in which he targets the city police and says they can't catch him because he is very smart. Along with that letter, Zodiac also sent one more thing. He has sent the bomb-making formula along with a drawing, which after checking, turns out to be absolutely correct, meaning Zodiac also knows how to make bombs. After all this, Paul and Robert go to a restaurant for a drink where they talk about their past, interests, and hobbies. 1.5 months later, Zodiac sends another letter, and this time Zodiac has sent a letter to Melvin instead of Chronicle. The letter says that I don't want to kill, but I am forced to, cannot control, and Zodiac has also sent Melvin pieces of the driver's set. Melvin becomes quite confused about why Zodiac sent him a letter. After about 2.5 months of all this, another letter from Zodiac arrives, and this series continues in which Zodiac sends his achievement, man-hunting, and his story to the newspaper as if it's some game for Zodiac. After, by showing the cut, Zodiac reveals that he has stolen his name and symbol from the watch ad, and furthermore, a story sent from Zodiac's letter is not convincing at all. The killer of this story has already been caught. Seeing all this, it seems that Zodiac is not a real killer. He just wants to take credit for the work of a real killer. Now, it's been over a year since the Zodiac and his killing mystery started, but to now no one has any clue about who the Zodiac is. After this, Paul received a letter containing a blood-stained cloth, and as soon as Paul sees it, he understands that this letter is from the Zodiac, which means Paul has now come into the Zodiac sights. After this, Paul is very scared because in this letter, Zodiac has threatened to kill Paul, and the very next day, Paul obtains a gun license and starts practicing shooting. During the investigation, new facts emerge, and to confirm these, Dave and his associates go to a place called Riverside, where Zodiac had committed his first murder, and where all the detectives, they are not happy with Paul, because Paul has published an article claiming that he has some possible clue about the identity of Zodiac, and Paul has not shared anything about this with the detective. After this, the detective arrives at a police station by the Riverside with his team, where an officer shows him a case file and tells him that a girl named Cherry was. He was killed in 1966, and 3 days after his death, the killer sent letters to newspapers, media, and the press so they could publish his story. This man wanted to become famous by doing this. The officer explains that this murder closely matches the Zodiac murder. Even the killer's handwriting is the same, or he might be taking the identity of Cherry's killer to make himself famous. After this, Dave gets confused when he sees that there are many people in the police station. They claim to know the real identity of the Zodiac, after which the detective starts interviewing each of them one by one. As the investigation of these interviews progresses, 8 months pass by, meaning the Zodiac mystery has been ongoing for over 2 years, but the police have yet to find any evidence related to the Zodiac. Meanwhile, amidst all these interviews, one particular interview catches a detective's attention, which is Arthur's. It was Allen's, who had many habits and routines similar to the Zodiac. The police started suspecting that Arthur was the Zodiac. Now, the police finally got a real clue, after which Arthur was quickly investigated. It was found that Arthur was mentally unstable, and then Dave and his partner took permission from the police officer. They go to meet Arthur, but they don't get any information from him. Still, the police don't give up, and then they also interview Arthur's family. To clear Arthur's name, they show his handwriting, from which they find out that there is absolutely no connection between Arthur's handwriting and Zodiac's handwriting. Dave is quite disappointed by this because his first lead has now become useless. After this, Dave's partner. He tries to reassure. On that, Dave says that he is not upset about Arthur not being Zodiac, but he is angry because he wanted Arthur to turn out to be Zodiac so that he could catch him and put him in jail so that the case could be solved. And on the other hand, Paul's situation has also worsened because he is now living in constant fear. After this, one day the newspaper editor calls Paul to his office and says, "Now, we people related to the Zodiac investigation." Paul leaves his job and moves away from here. One day, Robert Dave meets him in a theater, and both have come to watch a movie with their families. Paul tells Robert Dave that Zodiac has become a legend because now movies are being made about him, and moreover, these movies are also becoming hits. Zodiac is becoming a role model. As time passes, for years go by, after which the police, media, and everyone have no trace of Zodiac. Then Bill Dave tells that he is transferring from the Homestead Department because he can no longer tolerate it and does not want to investigate Zodiac further. And on the other hand, the robber collects Zodiac's letters and articles and makes a book, after which he gets an idea to write a book about Zodiac. Then, the robber goes to Fole's house, where we see that Paul's situation has become quite messed up because he has now started drinking and taking drugs, after which Robert tells Paul that he wants to write a book on the Zodiac, for which a lot of data is required that only Paul possesses. No one has investigated the Zodiac as deeply as you have. To this, Paul replies that I stopped investigating the Zodiac for years ago, and moreover, I have also destroyed the related files. So why should I waste my time? After this, the robber is very upset hearing all this. Then the robber goes to meet Detective Dave so that he can extract some data related to the pair. But Dave refuses to help the robber here. However, Dave gives the robber a piece of advice. You should go to the police station. And there, what about Zodiac? He is considered to have a double murder file to show, after which he quickly starts checking the case file and finds out that Zodiac's first victim, Darlin, was very beautiful and had many admirers. And this file also mentions Arthur Leigh, a mention made by Darren's sister Linda. According to Linda, Arthur is the prime suspect. After this, the robber begins to write critical information related to Darlin. The robber discovers that on the night Darlin was killed, all her relatives received a call that same night, during which a man spoke in a heavy voice, which makes the robber think, and due to sight jealousy, he attacked Darlin and her boyfriend. After that, Robert Dave goes to Path and tells all these things that before the murder, some man was following Darlin, and moreover, calls were coming to her house from which heavy breathing sounds were heard. After this, the robber, Dave says he wants to meet Darlin's sister Linda, hoping she might know something about the Zodiac, to which Dave agrees. Gradually, the robber's family starts falling apart because the robber is more focused on finding the Zodiac than on his family. Later, on April 25, 1978, Dave receives a call from Chronicle informing him that after so many years, the Zodiac has sent a new letter to the newspaper. Moreover, in this letter, Detective Dave is also mentioned. After this, when Dave goes to the police station and checks the letter, his superiors start suspecting him because, according to them, the Zodiac case has been closed. So, according to his superiors, Dave himself forged this letter, Friends, they haven't been able to find the Zodiac for a long time. So now, they simply do not want to accept the possibility that the Zodiac could send another letter, because of which Dave was removed from a homicide division. Now Zodiac has also ruined Dave's life like a leak, and the same is about to happen with Robert because Robert's wife is now tired of Robert's madness. So one day, she seizes the opportunity and leaves the house, taking the children with her because Robert's madness could put the family in danger. Nowadays, coal is being brought home, and heavy breathing sounds can be heard on it. It is Zodiac's job, but the Robert is engaged in an investigation without caring about his family. And one day he gets the opportunity to meet Linda, who is currently imprisoned in a jail. From Linda, the Robert learns that Darlin was quite famous among the boys, but one of those men was very strange, as he always talked to Darlin about harming people. So Darlin used to stay away from that man. But for some reason, that man started following Darlin, after a lot of thinking. Linda tells her that she doesn't remember the man's full name, but she knows his nickname. Just then, that man is called Over, and at the same time, the bell starts ringing in DeMart's Robert's section because there is a strong possibility of a Zodiac connection. The person was indeed named Arthur Leigh Allen, but due to a writing mismatch, the investigation against Arthur was dropped. Then the Robert remembers reading in Darlin's case report that Darlin knew Arthur Leigh Allen. After this, the Robert becomes fully convinced that Zodiac is Arthur Leigh Allen, and then the Robert goes straight to Detective Dave's path, after which he starts telling all his theory, to which Dave says that I was suspicious of Arthur from the beginning, but we didn't find any evidence against him, and we can't prove Arthur is a Zodiac, because if we reveal our theory in court, the judge will rule it out as a coincidence. On this, Dave tells Robert that in my opinion, just drop this case and stick to your book. Write it down and get it published. You've already done quite a lot. After this, the scene changes to show us a scene from 1983 where Arthur takes a Robert to a store, but they don't say anything to each other. However, the Robert is completely convinced that Arthur is the Zodiac who killed Darlin. After this, the scene shifts again to 1991, where Darlin's boyfriend Mike agrees to talk to the authorities. He is asked who he saw that night and who could be Darlin's killer. Mike points out Arthur, meaning Robert and Deb's accomplice. So, it was true that Arthur was a Zodiac, but this case has been ongoing for over 22 years. After that, in the post-credit scene, it is shown that when the police were filing a case against Arthur, he died of a heart attack. However, most of the police department closed the case, but in some places, it is still open. Moreover, the suspect in this case is Arthur himself. As for Dave, the charges of forgery against him are dropped, and crime reporter Paul passed away from an illness. The Robert is living a happy life with his family. After Arthur's death, the coal deliveries to Robert's home also stopped. And with this, the movie ends here. So, friends, if you like this movie explanation, please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next movie.